started in 2008. Our average client, and it was interesting, this was not by design, is a privately held Chester County company, been in business on average 50 years, over a variety of industries. It's multi-generational, with sales of about $8.5 million in average annual sales. So that's kind of what the average customer looks like. Also, there's some radio shows that we have, and that's been really a lot of fun. This week in business, I interview between 4 and 5 people every week, and it's right in town on Gay Street, WCHE 1520 AM. We stream it live on the web, so it's interesting, even though it's a Chester County radio station. Our audience is very diverse. I get emails from all different states in the United States, and who would have thunk it, right? But it's a lot of fun. I interview on Tuesdays 2 to 3 business owners. We talk about their business model, their challenges, if they're launching a new product or they're having an event. Anything is fair game. We talk a lot about succession planning and how the economy, how they're weathering this challenging economy. Also, later in the week, we have a show called This Week in Service, and it spotlights philanthropy. So anybody that's doing something to give back to our community, that's what it's about. So we interview between 2 and 3 people. I'm a Rotarian. There's a lot of Rotarians. It's funny, I did a calculation of my business show and my service show to see, well, how many Rotarians am I actually having on? It's probably about 70% of my audience at business and service that I interview every week is Rotarians, which is kind of cool. Okay. We also have the foundation. That good-looking guy, Stephen Chandler Ericcson, is my brother, and he passed on 26 years ago. He was playing soccer, and he was struck by lightning. And my parents had the wisdom, and thankfully God was very gentle to them and allowed them the ability to develop a scholarship. And for 26 years, we've been helping educate a young person with their freshman year of college or trade school. And it's interesting. I started managing that for my parents a couple years ago, and I thought, you know, this money's been provided by my parents, myself, and a handful of friends. Nobody knows we do this. Everybody knew about the accident, but really nobody knew about this really cool scholarship. So I thought, you know, what can we do? So I researched, and we created the Stephen Chandler Ericcson Foundation in December of 2010. And what we're doing this year, in the next couple years, is we're working on a capital campaign to raise enough money that by the 30th anniversary of Steve's passing, we will have raised enough money that this will become perpetual. So that means if I get hit by a bus in the year 2015, this thing's going to keep going. So even if we don't raise another penny, we will be able to help educate a young person every year. So we're very excited about it. And it's funny, as I've gotten more involved with the scholarship and now developing the foundation, I've interviewed a lot of the recipients. And the first gentleman that got Steve's award, his name was Lee Johnson. And talking about paying it forward, the young man, when he got the award, he made the decision, well, if I ever make something of myself in business, I want to make sure that I do something like this that was done for me, because it helped him with his freshman year of school and the bills. And he now has a scholarship, and his family is helping young people. So it's been quite exciting, quite an education, as I've met these 26 young people and all the amazing things they're doing. So it's always good to give back, and we're very proud of this effort. Sunrise Rotary. I am a delightfully enthusiastic, proud member of the Greater Westchester Sunrise Rotary. I think we've got some Rotarians in the room somewhere around here. And I'm president of my club. It's a great club, and if you've never heard of Rotary, I love to describe it. It's the ultimate backstage pass, because everywhere you go, you're going to know somebody. And it's about giving back. We meet every Wednesday, 7 a.m. I know you're thinking, oh my goodness, 7 a.m. How can you do that? I know my cat looks at me every Wednesday like, I can't even believe that you're dressed at this hour. But it's a great organization. We meet every Wednesday at the Days Hotel, which is right on the 202 bypass. And it's wonderful. We give back nationally, locally, and internationally. So it's a wonderful thing. I would invite you to come and be our guest any morning for a free breakfast and fellowship. I'm not going to spend too much time on my bio, because you can go to my website. But essentially, give you the short version, I've been in business over 25 years, and largely, even though I'm a Chester County girl, I spent the majority of those years working in Delaware in a corporation where my market was the nation. So I was very unfamiliar up until several years ago about the interworkings of Chester County business. And the companies I worked with, you may recognize, such as AIG, CoreStage, which is now Wells Fargo, Continental American Life. And then in the early 2000s, I started working for First National Bank as a local banker. And it was in this venue that I really became entrenched and learned about the business community from the Chester County perspective. And it was just wonderful years, and it was just a great platform to then begin my business. So we'll kind of move on into the heat of our discussion, the meat of our discussion today. And we're going to talk about building blocks for your own business, okay? And there's a couple things we have to think about. What makes us happy? We need to know what we're good at, identify our strengths, right? What are the things that we are really good at? Understand our challenges. What are the things that maybe we're not as strong, or we need to kind of develop our skill set a bit? Getting experience, networking and building your team, writing the business plan, the dreaded business plan. We'll demystify that for you, I hope. And funding. So we're going to talk about these things. First of all, let's talk about what makes us happy. Now, you can see I'm an outgoing person. I'm going to be calling on you today, and don't worry, there's no wrong answer. I'm going to step away from the mic. Can everybody hear me? Yes? In the back? Yes, you can hear me? Okay, good. Okay. All right. Why is it important to do something that makes us happy? Anybody? Show of hands. Why? Why do you think it's important to do something that makes you happy?
Because you'll enjoy doing it every day.
Exactly, right? We're gonna have a good time. Every day, hopefully, is gonna be a pretty good day. And you know, it sounds simple. Do what makes you happy. It sounds like a very simple principle, doesn't it? But of course, as with anything, it's not so simple. You know, it takes a lot of thought. Some interesting statistics. CNN Money did a report and found that 84% of Americans are unhappy in their current job. 84%. And another report indicated that 1 in 3 United States folks are thinking seriously about leaving their job. Okay, so 84% aren't too happy. 1 in 3 thinking they're going to leave. Okay, so that goes to show you want to try to do something that you enjoy doing. And normally, if you enjoy doing it, you're probably pretty good at it. So what are your strengths and weaknesses? Who here has taken the time to take the exercise of saying, what are we good at? What are the things that are our best gifts? Things that we're really gifted at. Some people may be one of those oddballs like me that loves to get in front of a crowd and talk. Other people may love to count numbers. What are some of our strengths? The Nike, the blue shirt. What are some of your strengths, if you were to think? What are the things you think you're really good at?
I'm pretty organized.
Okay, excellent. That's very, very critical skill. In no matter what. And what major are you?
Marketing.
Okay, marketing. Love it. Okay. All right. Right there. What are you good at? What are the things that you think are your strengths?
I enjoy sports and I enjoy coaching. So.
Okay. What are some of your strengths?
Fast learner.
Okay. Okay. And have you given thought to, when you think of the laundry list of all the things that you're really good at, how that might translate into a profession or a career? And it's okay if you haven't. It's okay to say, you know what, I haven't thought of it yet. That's okay. Have you thought of it? Maybe not, maybe a little bit?
A little bit.
Okay, a little bit. Okay, that's all right. Okay, all right. Now, the other thing we need to think about are areas for personal growth, right? Because we're not good at everything. We got to think about, okay, what are the things that let's call them challenges. What are the things that I'm not as strong at? Why do we think that would be equally important to be able to identify about ourselves? Come on, show of hands. Come on, somebody raise a hand. I'm going to have to pick on you. Okay, yes.
I know I'm really bad at time management, and I get to work from home now, so I
Okay, so time management, right? Okay. All right. So it's important to know the things that are challenging for us. There's a couple reasons why that's important. There's a couple things, once we have that list of stuff that we think, boy, this is stuff I really don't like to do. It's like I'm not really good at it. Like, I wouldn't want to be sitting in a room being an accountant, counting all the beans, counting all the numbers all day long. I would go crazy. Now, that's what my father did, and he was excellent at it. I would go out of my mind. But it's important to know where your strengths lies and where your challenges are. And it's important because you can do a couple things. You can either say, okay, you can resolve yourself to say, I'm going to take these challenges and things in the challenge column, and I'm going to hone my skills and turn them into strengths. Okay, we may want to look at it that way. Or we may say, you know what, I am never going to be a bean counter, and I am really okay with that, and it's always going to stay in the challenge column. So we can make that identification. Now, let's translate this into the business world. The stuff that we're not good at, when we're hiring, when you guys have your own business, okay, and you have your own team that you're hiring, is it important that we hire people that are really good at stuff that we're not good at? Come on. Yes? Is this important to us? Is this important? Yes? I can't hear you. Yes? Okay. It's important to surround yourself with really good people. And it's equally important to surround yourself with people that are really, really adept and skilled at the areas where maybe it's a little weaker for you. Okay. All right. Get experience. Okay. When you go out into the work industry, if let's say you wanted to be an event planner, let's just pretend that your aspiration was to be an event planner. I'm winking at my assistant because that's what she wants to be. So you want to go, and I would advocate working in the industry that you ultimately want to make your own business out of. Okay. There's a couple reasons that you want to do that. First couple years, by the way, I want to mention, and you probably already know this, you're going to be paying your dues. And that actually doesn't ever stop. It doesn't end with the first couple years. But what you're doing is you're learning the infrastructure of the business, right? You're learning about how this business runs. And you're going to ultimately put your own spin on it. But it's very important to learn that. And a couple other things. We've got to pay attention to the details. Why are details important? Why are details important? Absolutely, absolutely. And when we're in a business, when we're in our learning mode, we're in our first job and we're learning about the infrastructure, do you think it's important to kind of question things? To just not maybe accept status quo? Do you think that that's important to do?
Yes.
Why do you think that's important? Why would that be valuable to us?
Because it always keeps you looking at everything and analyzing everything that you're doing.
Absolutely, right? Because they may be doing it one way, but that doesn't mean it's the end-all, be-all. You may have this brilliant idea of a much better way, much more efficient, much more cost-efficient way to handle the project, right? So don't ever be afraid to question the status quo and think about how you might be able to do it better, differently. It's all good. Okay. And when you're in that job, you've got to build relationships. It's all about the relationships. And you know that from your college life, right? You're interacting with your friends, your professors, your coaches, your instructors. You want to build relationships with your boss, your colleagues, your competitors, your vendors, your sales team. Because ultimately, when you build your own business, you may be hiring some of these people, okay? Or you may use them as consultants. So you want to very much have a mind toward building relationships. Be hungry and be committed and think niche. Does anybody know what a niche is? It's a specialty. It's taking an area of the market and saying, I'm going to do this one thing. I'm going to target this market. I'm going to make this surfboard that's this certain kind of surfboard that is it's going to be a one and only type of thing. If you can find a niche market, it's a very good thing because it creates value. You create immediate value. So as you build a business, I would encourage you to think niche. Think, what segment of the market do I want to target, and what product can I do that's very specific? Okay, there's a vast difference between the classroom and the real world, right? What do you think that might be? Lady in pink, long dark hair.
Me?
Yeah, you.
What is the difference with the main difference would just be like when you're in the classroom, it's more, there's more structure in the classroom as opposed to when you're going to work every day. It's
Yeah.
There's more of an environment where you get to, it's more free, it's more, your opinion within a workplace, I guess, value more than, I would say a classroom is kind of like a classroom with structure. At work, you're
It's
more
free form out there in the world, right? Right, okay. Some other thoughts on the difference between the classroom and out in the real world? Come on, I want to hear from you. Yes?
Classroom is,
I'm sorry, what's that?
classroom is theory and real world is hands-on experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. There was someone else that mentioned something. Yes?
Safety net. Seems like when you're in a classroom, it's, although the grades are important and it's real and you're working towards a job, when you're out there in the real world, you've got bills to pay, rent to meet, etc.
Yeah, when you're trying to pay that mortgage, it gets your attention real quick, doesn't it? It is different, and it's a good time to be in the classroom because it is a safe time. It's a great time to learn, but there is a big difference between the classroom and the real world. And when you enter the real world, you know, be humble and be hungry. Okay, that's all I can say. Work hard. You're going to work hard, be humble, and be hungry. You may be a star right now on campus. You may be a superstar in the classroom. And that's great. But realize when you get out into the real world, you're kind of starting over. You're still a star. It doesn't mean you aren't special. But you're kind of starting over again, you know? You're going through that building process again. And that's not a bad thing. But just be aware of it. Be aware of it. Okay, internships. This has got to be my favorite subject in life. First of all, I want to have my amazing intern, Ashley Denon. Please stand, Ash. Turn around and say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, this is my intern, Ashley Denon. She is a Westchester University student. She is a marketing major. She will graduate in May of 2012. And we are very delighted and very thankful to have the opportunity to work with Ashley. And we have a great relationship with Westchester University. In 2010, it was wonderful. I didn't have money to hire somebody, but desperately needed help, desperately. And I was made aware of, I started talking with Dr. Zimmerman and came to learn about the Cottrell leadership opportunity, the grant given to companies. And I thought, well, let me try to put my hat in the ring and apply for this. And we got the scholarship, the grant. And what that allowed us to do, your university allowed me to do, was to hire an intern. And the Cottrell Center paid for that. And I had an intern, my first intern. And that was last year. Her name was Sarah DeLuca. She was a marketing major with Westchester University. She's now graduated and gone on to her full-time career. But it was wonderful. We hired her in September of 2010. She graduated in December of 2010. I hired her part-time as an actual employee, and then in March she went on to a full-time career, which is wonderful. And then in May of 2011, we hired Ashley, and she will be with us until she graduates and maybe a little after. So internships are really important. Show of hands. Who has an internship currently? Who's an intern? I can't see the hands. I can't see. Okay. How many people are going to get an internship? Hi, I'm so glad to see this. This is very good, very good. Okay, do you think, who here feels that if you're hiring somebody, intern versus non, do you think the internship has a leg up? Do you think they have advantages? Yes? Why is that?
As long as you do well in your internship.
I can't hear you. What?
As long as you do well in your internship, yes. You make connections.
That's absolutely. It sets you apart, doesn't it? I'll tell you, I've been on both sides of the table. I've been the person interviewing, trying to sell myself, and I've been on the other end of the table interviewing people for jobs. And I'll tell you right now, if it comes down to, they're both great. One is an intern, had an internship experience, one did not. I'll take the intern every time. I'll take the one with the internship experience because it shows dedication, drive, you have experience, It's the best thing you can ever do. You got to get the internship. Now, I got to tell you a little story. I'm a graduate of Washington University, and I applied for an internship, a United States congressional internship. I'm glad I didn't know this. I had no idea how competitive it was. Anyway, I applied, and I was selected. So I go to my professor, and I said, I have this internship. I'm going to Washington. I was like over the moon. I was so excited. And he's like, well, that's great, Cynthia, but we don't have an internship program. I said, well, then you need to create one. We need to create one right now. So we created the internship program that still exists today at Washington University. Now, that was a couple years ago. Now everybody has internship programs, I hope. Universities have internship programs. But it's very valuable. It will help you. And I hope those that didn't raise your hands that you seriously consider internship programs. Okay. Okay, let's talk about networking and building the team. Does anybody know what centers of influence are? Did anybody hear that word COI, centers of influence? You might be able to kind of figure out what it is. Yep. Do you know what centers of influence are?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, centers of influence, it's the people around you. It's the people that you know that you can network with. Your centers of influence are kind of that Rolodex, the people that you've worked for. You've had your summer jobs, let's say, or if you're an intern, if you've had an internship, it's the people that you've interacted with. Not only your superiors in your internship environment, but maybe anybody that you've interacted with. Your professors are your centers of influence. Your family. Everybody in your world, that's what a center of influence. So think of you in the center, and you make a circle outward, and those closest to you, of course, know you the best, and then as you go outward, the relationships are not as strong, but there's still a connection. Okay, what is networking? Let's define it. Harvard Business School defines networking as networking is a way to develop relationships that help you gain insight into an industry, a company, or a career path. Okay, and given that 65 to 85% of jobs are found through networking, and believe me, they are, we should spend about 80% of our time networking. Now, is this a surprising statistic to anybody, or is this pretty much we know this? Hopefully we know this, okay? Okay, what's an example of networking? Okay, what's an example of networking? Anybody? Yes, you. I know you didn't raise your hand, but what's an example of networking? Any idea?
Like being in a pretty cool organization, being networking.
Absolutely. For example, let's say you wanted to pledge a fraternity or sorority, okay? And you didn't know anything about this fraternity or sorority. And you're thinking, boy, I think I'm interested, I'm not sure. How would you go about learning and trying to figure out, boy, do I really want to pledge or not? How would we do that? How would we do that?
Getting to know the members.
Absolutely. That's networking. That's networking. Or if you're thinking about a team, a sporting team, a football team, a lacrosse team, whatever the sport is, and you're thinking, gosh, I'm kind of curious what the dynamics are like in this group. You want to talk to the people that are already in that group, right? That's networking. And remember this, networking, I love this definition. Networking is a specific conversation with an identifiable goal. Okay? Networking is a specific conversation with an identifiable goal. Okay? All right. Now, how to build the team. When we talked about our strengths and our challenges, right? When you're building your team, okay, you've started your own business, you're trying to build your staff. What are the kind of people that we want to have on our team? Thoughts? What are your thoughts? If you're building a company, what kind of people? Yes, you.
You have somebody that you can work with, that you trust.
Absolutely. Excellent. Excellent point. Someone that you can trust, you feel maybe have common values, right? You also want to make sure that the people on your team not only have the gifts that you have, the things that you're strong at, but also don't forget we want to make sure we have the people that are really great at the stuff that we're not great at, right? Very important. Okay. And also, you want to make sure, you said you really touched on it, you want to make sure that the people that you choose to work with in your company share your moral values, okay, and your general life philosophy. Why do you think that's important? Why would that be relevant to us in terms of moral or kind of share life, similar life values? Any thoughts on why that might be important to you or valuable?
For making business decisions,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
be able to agree on them.
Exactly. And what about integrity? Right? Integrity. You know, hopefully we all have a very good, strong moral compass. We're honest. We have high integrity. You know, you want to run your business in a very ethical manner. Well, you want to make sure you're with somebody that holds those same high standards, right? You don't want somebody that's going to try to do something that would be unscrupulous or not honest. So you want to make sure that you have an eye on that as well. Okay, writing the business plan. Okay, the dreaded business plan. Well, it is actually as daunting as you might think, but it's very important. Does anybody know what a business plan is? You know what a business plan is? Have any thoughts on what it is? Yeah, yeah. Any thoughts? No, yeah, that's okay. Any idea what a business plan is?
It's like a detailed explanation of your business, how it's going to be run, who's going to be in it, things like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Why do you think that's important? Why would it be important to write a business plan? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Setting your goals and what you want to get out of it.
Exactly, exactly. There's a lot involved in a business plan too, and we're gonna walk through just some of the elements. And again, I think Ashley passed around my cards. Give me a call or email if any of these things you want to explore further. But there's a couple elements to the business plan. First, there's the executive summary, and it's kind of as you might think. It really summarizes your document. It involves all parts of your business plan. And it covers what you're doing over the next 3 to 5 years, your goals and your plans and objectives, and how you're going to reach them. And this part, you want to make it, it's the one thing people are going to read, so it has to be very compelling, okay? So if you're sitting down with a banker, your executive summary, you want it to be an attention getter, okay? So you want to make it very gripping. The next part is the profile of the company, okay? It's kind of the snapshot of your business. And it includes your mission statement, your players, your key players, and really what they're going to be doing. The next is the description of your products and services, okay? What type of products and services are you going to be selling, and how are you going to be doing it different from the competition? Description of management and organizational structure. What might this be? What do we think this might be about? Yes. Do you have any thoughts on that? What it might be about? Okay, that's okay. Thoughts? Thoughts? Okay. All right. We're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good. All right. The description of the management and the organizational structure. That's talking about your team. And you're talking about really the strengths of your individual management team. Like your accounting guy. You know, what's his bio or her bio? Has she published anything? What are her success stories? Where is she really standing out in our community? Those are the type of things that you're going to identify there. Okay, market analysis. Here's where you're going to look at the company's competition. And you're going to look at the customers, the products, what your market acceptance might be like. And you want to also detail your competition strengths and weaknesses, because therein lies where you're going to get in and develop that niche market and those products that are hopefully going to sell quite well. The sales and marketing plan, my favorite part. This is going to cover our social media, okay? Hopefully we all are pretty aware of social media. Our TV spots, radio, direct mail, space ads, print ads. You know, wherever you see it in print, that's going to be covered here. Also, production plan. If you're doing physical goods, that's going to be about costs for labor and different production options and time management. And lastly, your financial plan. Okay, you're gonna talk about, you know, the 3 to 5 year plan, and also break it down into monthly bites as well. Now, all this work, okay, all this big business plan work. Why are we going to do it? Why go through all that effort and trouble? Yes.
Make sure business is viable and they get funding.
Absolutely. It's viable and funding, right? Absolutely. Other thoughts? Why is it important to do a business plan? Any thought?
It kind of sets a roadmap for what we want to achieve over time frames.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a great roadmap. It's going to be our source, right? And, you know, when you go through the due diligence of writing a business plan, a couple things are going to happen that are really going to be exciting. You're going to do one of two things. You're either going to reinforce, okay, and it'll be like a reaffirmation of the business, that you're like, yes, this is exactly the way I want to do it, it's perfect. Or you're going to identify some things that you're going to want to retool to make it stronger. So either way, it's a win-win. You're going to come out at the end of the day with a healthier template for your business. Okay, and the benefits of the writing the plan, okay, and a couple of you mentioned them. It's going to be your internal planning and forecasting document. Okay, so once you get your team of people, this is going to be the Bible, if you will. This is going to be the thing that everybody looks at. Okay, very important. Also, and another gentleman mentioned funding. When you're sitting, and we're going to talk about funding in a minute, but if you're sitting with a bank, they're going to want to see your business plan. Okay, so this is going to be a very necessary document. Also, in facilitating growth for your company, we use a word that's going to sound a little odd. You may or may not have heard it. Organic growth and inorganic growth. Sounds like we're in science class, right? Well, we're not, and perhaps you've heard of it. But organic growth is growth that is established through ramping up your sales. You're selling more sneakers. You're selling more surfboards because of your marketing efforts, okay? Your campaigns are working. They're successful. You're really having people come in droves with great response. There's also inorganic growth, and that's all about mergers and acquisitions. So instead of just kind of growing the business internally, I'm going to go and buy this other sneaker company to augment my existing sneaker company. So that's called inorganic growth. And again, the benefits of writing the plan, when you're going to grow, you're going to use that document as a reference. And then if you're going to restructure or reorganize your organization, very critical. Okay, funding, showing you the money. Okay, there's a couple different things. First there's debt financing, and as we all know about going to a bank, right, and getting a loan for a set time at a set interest rate with a given set of conditions. That's what we call debt financing. And equity financing is a little different, where you're really selling part ownership in the company in exchange for cash. Now, again, another method, the investor will assume most or all the risk, and there's a greater return on the investment if they so do it, but of course if it fails, the risk is that much greater. Those are two areas of financing. But the one that we're kind of smiling about, of course, is friends and family, okay? The people that love us, okay? When we start our business, we may want to call up mom and dad, or call up aunts and uncles, or sisters and brothers and say, you know, I'm starting this business. And if we do that, it's a good thing. It's still probably the best resource, the best source, because they know us. Hopefully they like us. And the tolerance for risk is going to be a little more lenient, perhaps. But I would caution you, if you do that, you want to make sure you always have your legal cap on your mind. You want to make sure you document things, because you know, you don't want to kind of lose sight that you're actually doing a business transaction. So it's very important to think of it from a legal perspective as well. Credit cards. Okay, I say this with great caution. Credit cards, it's a great tool, but it is in fact just a tool. If you need money, it's good for just cash flow. You want to pay it off at the end of the month. Use it as a tool. Don't get into debt using a credit card. Who here has a credit card? I want to see show of hands. Who's got a credit card? Who has credit cards? Everybody has a credit card? Okay. And does anybody know anybody that has huge credit card debt? Have they known anybody that's experienced that situation? I don't see any hands, but I know y'all know people like that. Well, when I was a banker, every week people would come in my office. I would be looking at their personal financial statements, how much they made, where they lived, their cars, and I was astounded at the level of debt, credit card debt. And these are smart people. These are wonderful people. And it's a trap that you can get into. So again, it's a resource, but I say it with extreme caution. It's something to be used just as a tool and pay it off every month. Okay, so it is an option. And then the bank loans. And you know, the banks are, we've been through a lot of the last couple of years. The ability to get credit is a lot more challenging. I think that's starting to smooth out a bit, but bank loans are a useful tool as well. You need to have your business plan, of course, and you can get all shapes and sizes of loans. Now, there's a couple different resources if you're going to use the banks for the loan. Once you write your business plan, there's a couple organizations and a couple ways you can approach your loan. One is the SBA loan, Small Business Administration. They're a great friend to entrepreneurs. And the Economic Council in Chester County, they have a whole division just about small business loan and helping entrepreneurs. And I've worked with them. They're wonderful people. I've done presentations with them, and they are just really great. So the Small Business Association is a great resource. Also SCORE, and I think we've got a friend here from SCORE. Has anyone ever heard of SCORE, the organization SCORE? Okay. For those that haven't, SCORE is the Service Corps of Retired Executives. I've actually presented to them several years ago, but it's a great organization. It's a nonprofit, and it's retired executives. And these are the experts across all industries. They're here to help you. There's no cost to go and talk with them, nor is there a cost to go to the Economic Council and talk to the Small Business Administration. These are resources right in our own backyard, okay? And I would really encourage you to look these folks up. Okay, how did it begin? Time-wise, I think we're okay. As I said, I think at the outset, I started my business in 2008, and it was interesting. After being in the regional business environment, I knew so many business owners and business people, but when I started my business, I had zero client base, okay? Zero client base. But I had my centers of influence, and I started talking to people and networking, and the business has grown, and it's been really exciting. And one of the things that makes my company different than other marketing companies is our ability to both be strategic and tactical. And what I mean by that is we can sit down with a company and devise their business and their strategic plan, okay, at a very high level. But we also can take it down to the implementation and be very tactical. And what I've come to find out is not everybody's good at the high level and zooming in on the micro level of business. We can do both. And again, that comes from working in industries where our marketing team was very lean, so you had to know how to do it all. And it's really served us quite well. We also are all about the relationship. We will do one-off projects or one projects for companies. We're delighted to do that. But our goal is to really become part of the team, okay? And that's our intent. And we really take time to get to know our clients and to know, what their goals are, what they want to accomplish, and we really invest ourselves. And the other thing that we work very hard on is helping our customers, our clients, network. So when I'm sitting and talking with a guy that has a high-end kitchen and bath company, this is actually real life too, and I'm sitting and he's like, well, I really need to get with more contractors. So immediately I'm thinking, okay, now who's in my mind, who's on my short list of contractors that I can call, and I'm immediately hooking up this lunch for this person to meet so-and-so that's an architect or a builder, and to facilitate them growing their relationship. So I always extend that, and that's another thing that makes our company unique, is that we really work hard on helping them network, not only strategically putting their plans together, but helping them get out on the street and meet the right people to facilitate their business. And it's just been great fun. Let's talk a little bit, and then we're going to wrap it up and open it to Q&A. A little bit about the current climate, the business climate, what's hot. Well, of course, technology is hot. It always will be. And there are a couple of growth areas that have opened up, both brick and mortar retail and boutique consulting and education. But what I'm going to list for you now, which I found very encouraging, is 17 industries that are really ripe for startups. And it's quite exciting. It's quite diverse. Trade schools, language schools, employment and recruiting agencies, real estate appraisal, automobile retailing, financial planning, and I'll tell you, I have so many financial planners on my radio show, and people, because of the challenging economy, are thinking, how can I preserve my wealth? And how can I grow my wealth? It's very hot. The beauty industry, clothing accessory stores, historical site management, tourism, language education, technical schools, PR and marketing, of course, PR and marketing, glad to hear that. Environmental consulting, okay, everybody's going green. Everybody has, I think, a heightened awareness of our environment, which is very, very positive. Organic snacks, eco-friendly toys, and eco-friendly clothing. Okay, so those are some industries that are really ripe for getting into those industries and starting something anew. Okay, I want to just thank everybody. Don't go away or anything, but I want to just thank everybody for being here. And again, Dr. Zimmerman and the Cottrell team and a lot of the deans and professors that are here and you students, I want to thank you for being with us today. It's just been a great pleasure. And now what we're going to do is open it up to questions. Now, Ashley's done a couple things. I think we have a list circulating to write down your name and your email, because we always like to send thank you to say, hey, thanks for being with us. Also, my business cards, I think you handed some around, but they're also in the back. But what I'm opening up for you, an invitation from myself and my company, is the opportunity, once you think on these things, if you're thinking about starting a business, or you want to help networking, you're thinking, boy, I really want to jumpstart really looking for that great job at that company, but I need some help. I'm here to help you. So I open the invitation to call me, email, set up a time for coffee. I'm happy to help you. Let's open it up for questions. Questions? Yes? And a little louder, please.
You stated earlier that having an internship is something that really makes someone that you're employing stand out. Like, what other characteristics or qualifications do you use when someone comes to you?
Oh, great question. Great question. The first thing I look for is somebody that's positive. Positive attitude. Somebody that has attention to detail and that cares. You know, you don't have to be the smartest person on the planet, because I know a lot of straight A people that are just off the charts, but the real difference, and those things are important, I'm not minimizing that, but equally so is your attitude and your level of enthusiasm and your commitment to what you're doing. You know, that you really care about what you're doing. Obviously, you have to be smart, you know, that skill, those skills, and also an ability with people. You know, I work with clients every day on the phone, meetings. There's all kinds of venues that Ashley's in, and we're with people all the time. So, you know, being comfortable to interact with people is very important. Yes? Other questions? Yes?
When and why did you make the transition from employee to owning your own business?
Good question. Good question. I had decided, I really thought, you know, I'm in the corporate life all these years and loving it. I mean, I've had wonderful experiences in the various companies that I've been with. And I thought, you know, I'd really like to have do my own thing, call my own shots, develop my own client base that I can work with, that it's mine. And in working locally with the regional environment, with a regional bank, working with so many other business owners, small, medium, and large business owners, I was talking with business owners every day for like 5 years. And it was like, you know, I want to do this. And I just decided I was going to take the plunge and do it. And it's been the best decision. The world that has opened up has been tremendous. And I was in a place in my life where financially, I could do it. 5, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do it financially. I would not have been able to put myself in a situation with the instability of the financial situation of cash flow. But now I was in a place where I could do that. That's something you have to consider too. But the timing was really perfect. Any questions? Come on. I know you got a lot of questions. Yes.
How many employees do you have?
Well, I've got, let's see, about 3, including me. So it's just us. My mother, stand up. Go ahead and stand up. My parents are here today. Laura and Joe Ericcson. Dad, stand up. And my mother and father helped me with the foundation work with my brother. And this year really has been a year with the foundation about creating awareness. I mean, we're raising money. But because it was like the best kept secret, nobody knew about what we were doing with Steve, they've been working really hard on talking to companies and facilitating corporate relationships. Ashley, stand up again. My star intern, Ashley. Thanks, Ash. Ashley manages the radio show, and that's a huge thing. Just that one piece is huge. She books guests, she researches guests, she vets guests, and what I mean by vetting guests, she'll talk to someone and determine would this be somebody we should have on the show. The logistics of that one thing could keep her going 24/7. She works on social media, and I'm out there working with the clients and cultivating more business. So it's and I'm doing a lot of public speaking this year and next year. So it's been very busy. So it's just us 3. May get busy enough that we're going to expand it. I don't know. We'll see. Other questions? I know you got more questions. Come on. Yes.
What do you feel about network marketing?
Say again.
Network marketing?
What about it? What do you
How
mean?
do you feel about that?
Well, about networking is crucial. Is that what you mean in terms of just?
It's called network marketing. It's when I guess it's like it's an online website company, and I was just seeing if you knew more about it.
Yeah, well, network marketing in terms of online, I can talk just in general, like LinkedIn and things like that. I'm not familiar with this particular site you're speaking of, but I'll tell you, anything online, LinkedIn, all these things, I have to research that to give you a proper answer because I don't know about that one. But LinkedIn how many people are on LinkedIn? Show of hands. Does anybody know what LinkedIn? For those that may not know what LinkedIn is, and if you're not on it, get on it. It's great. It's a professional networking site, and it's very powerful. It's so powerful. It can help land your next job. You get on there. It's very easy. It doesn't cost anything. Okay. And if you have trouble with it, call me. I'll help you out. But it's really the electronic version of your resume. Okay. You're putting kind of all about you. And as you link with people, LinkedIn, as you link with people, and you build your contact list, then more people are going to know about you, and most importantly, what you're looking for. So if you're looking for that event marketing job, well, if nobody knows what you're looking for, how's anybody going to help you? You got to let people know what you're looking for. And LinkedIn is fabulous. So if you're not on it, get on it, because you're missing the boat if you're not on it. Yes?
I just wanted to clarify, I think, for that student, just because a student asked me the other day. I think you might be referring to like Cottrell or Motivate. You know what I'm talking about? Where you work for, you buy the product, and then you sell that product to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what Cottrell is, right?
Yeah.
That company.
Yeah.
And there's a coffee company that a student asked me about recently.
Yeah. I'd have to look into it more to give.
Because it's a caution thing, I'm sure you want to.
Yeah.
It's a pyramid. And
Yeah. Well, and anything like that, you want to be careful. You want to research, and most important too, if you can talk with somebody that's done it or that's involved, to kind of get firsthand experience of what their experience has been like. Other questions? I know there's more questions. Yes.
I'm curious about your radio show and the connection that might
provide for you for your business?
Oh, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that. It's been fabulous, and it's funny. I wish I had the money to hire, because certainly the work is there and the need is there to hire several more people. But the radio show, I think maybe less than 1% of my radio show are my clients, because I haven't had the time to be able to go and talk to all these people, because it's just there's so many hours in the day. But the radio show has been fabulous. It's been great for so many reasons. Number one, you know, you're getting to meet amazing people every week, 4 or 5 people.
Your new business, some of your possible new customers that need to have things embroidered might have loyalty to already established embroidery businesses. You also need to invest time and money to purchase the equipment and train your employees. And you also need to build a good reputation to gain new customers and keep loyal. Some of your local competitors are listed here. After doing some research, there are competitors in the area, but we don't think that the market is overly saturated. However, there are some well-established competitors that you'll have to keep in mind. Some future potential product extensions. You could, if your embroidery business does become successful, you could consider providing heat pressing designs for products like clothing, bags, hats, etc. The price range for these heat pressing machines are from about $460 to $1,500. However much you feel like spending, and you could buy more than one if you feel like you could get a lot of customers. This new product extension would provide the opportunity for handicrafters to provide its existing embroidery customers with a larger variety of services to choose from, and it'll help expand their business. Those are our suggestions for today. Thank you again for your time, and if you have any questions.
Okay, next group.
Good evening. Presentation. My name is Rafael Piatek. This is Mike Swiddick and Thomas McNutt. The problem that we addressed was that there is an excess production capacity and unutilized workers at handicrafters, which is causing financial problems and employee dissatisfaction. It is important to seek out new products and services that require lots of hands-on work, minimum skills, and minimum startup costs to generate revenues. Therefore, our signature product is an organic potpourri gift basket. Potpourri is a unique gift item that is very popular today and meaningful for many occasions. We came up with 4 main purpose blends of potpourri baskets, which are everyday blend, fall blend, spring blend, and holiday blend, which consists of Christmas, Valentine's Day, Easter, or Thanksgiving. The product can be packaged and sold throughout the year for several occasions, like weddings, birthdays, and holidays. The mixture of dried, naturally organic plant material will be used to provide a natural scent in homes and used as table arrangements. Some of the items that can be included in the gift basket are a container for the potpourri, candles, towels, bath and body products like lotion and gel, sea sponge, pine cones for decoration, matching note and pen. The product is a fresh smelling scent, which is mainly used from natural plants and products. Since it is mainly assembled, packaged, and sealed by handicrafters, then it is American product and recognized as a product of a nonprofit organization. It is also a great product for seasonal presents for family and friends. In addition, the basket is very flexible for changes and more development. And also the product will create positive, festive difference in homes. And now Michael will talk more in depth about the process.
Thank you, Rafael, and good evening. When discussing the concept of new venture projects, it is essential to have future potential product expansions pre-planned such as new versions and also the add-on options. Some potential product extensions we have planned are the possibility of extending the product line with new versions of the organic gift basket and also to provide additional add-on options if necessary. Some of these new versions could include additional seasons and holidays, specific scents such as fruits, herbs, and bakery, and also have custom baskets which would allow for consumers to mix and match based on their personal preferences. As for the add-on options, we discussed the possibilities of organic flowers and herbs, holiday and seasonal decor, potpourri display container, and again, consumer customization. The feasibility of this product can be justified when we look at the technology available, the minimal product production costs, and the number of trained employees handicrafters has readily available. Green and organic fragrance gift basket requires little technology. Handicrafters already has the technology necessary with such items as scales, glue guns, and packaging capabilities, large production and warehouse capacity, as well as a delivery truck. The production costs require a minimal startup of less than $25,000. This is due to the low cost of materials being purchased in wholesale bulk and the fact that there will be no required licenses. As for the feasibility of trained employees, this product requires very minimal training while at the same time is very hands-on for such things as tying, gluing, and packaging. This new venture project is very appropriate for handicrafters due to the large production capacity of 13,000 square feet with only minimal assembly space required. Also, Handicrafters has its own